In a previous chapter, we spent a good bit of time talking about the language families and the kinds of similarities to look for among them. And even before, we have talked about using the imagination to help you make the connections between the English word and their foreign counterparts. Now we're going to talk about yet another fundamental fact about the languages that will greatly simplify your memory task. Every language builds its complex word from the simple basic word roots of that language. This means the difficulty of learning strange and unrelated words will come mainly at the beginning, when everything is new to you. But as you begin to get hundreds or even thousands of words under your belt, you will start noticing that an increasing proportion of the subsequent new words you learn are based on the roots of the basic words you have already learned. When you now think about it, it actually makes sense. Primitive human beings gradually created new sounds, new words as the need arose. They needed clearly distinguishable words for every new object. Basic things like fire, water, wood, food, etc. But as people needed to expand their language and create more sophisticated concepts, they drew on many of the existing roots of the language as their basis for creating new words. Every language does it. As these new words were created, each language developed certain rough patterns for the creation of new vocabulary. In other words, each language has its own distinctive characteristics for generating new words. Your job is to figure out how the language you're studying actually works and how it generates a new word. You need only to be aware that there is a system and pattern on your language uses to invent new words. It is irregular and not fully predictable pattern, but still it is some kind of pattern. So, once you learn the basic word, you can spot how more complex words are created from it. Of course, you will still have to study the word to learn it. No system is fully predictable and each has lots of irregularities, but the learning process becomes much easier when you have something to hang your memory on. And most Indo-European languages employ this system of combining basic roots and prefixes to create more complex concepts. Say that 5 times fast. And remember that every language that we are using, such as English, is a living language. This means that a lot of our words have evolved over time, so they don't all have quite the same literal meaning that they started out with. The point is that words are not just a complicated set of meaningless syllables that have a certain arbitrary meaning. A language grows organically like a tree, so it's natural for words to be related to one another and build from each other. We don't make up some meaningless new sound and give it a meaning. We almost always work from existing words to create new ones. So remember, every language will have some sort of word-building systems. Look for it. After all, if there weren't some kind of a system, you wouldn't be able to learn another system, or even when you were a child, you won't be able to learn your own native language either. Eventually, the vast proportion of new vocabulary in your new language will be based on the roots you already know.